Well, for almost a quarter century, the Eagle Rodeo has been throwing down in that small town. The throwdowns at first were done close to downtown in an empty field by the highway for about a decade and a half. Growth and development pushed them out to Avamore for 5 years before the sprawl of that community squeezed them out again. 2 years ago, they were allowed to use another piece of property along another highway, this time out west along Highway 16. And they signed a 5-year lease with the city. But last month, the city of Eagle wouldn't let them use part of that property for parking during the rodeo because the city needed a space to store construction materials. So rodeo organizers tell us that restriction resulted in them losing out on about $150,000 because they couldn't sell, or they can only sell so many tickets. And now, like being stomped on by a saddle bronc, the rodeo is again a victim of an expanding city, with Eagle terminating the lease for that land 3 years early. Aspen Shumpert tells us it was a decision that caught organizers off guard.
Come on, Haley!
The Eagle Rodeo celebrated its 23rd year of traditions in June, with 4 nights of summer full of bull riding, barrel races, and roping.
It went great. We had great attendance numbers for, having to limit it.
Let's cheer them on!
A month later, they learned they can't use the property again.
When me and one of the other directors went down to the city council meeting last week, we went simply to hear the report that was going to be given on how the Eagle Rodeo went. So to find out that to see it proposed to terminate our lease and actually see them vote on it, it was surprising.
Last Tuesday, Eagle City Council unanimously voted to terminate the rodeo's lease agreement.
I do believe that the more time we give Eagle Rodeo to begin, I know they are already looking for an alternate location, so I would be open to issuing a notice of cancellation.
3 years before it was supposed to expire.
We didn't think that it would happen after year 2, that's for sure.
It was agendized on the city council agenda.
Eagle Mayor Brad Pike says they're moving forward with building the regional sports complex on that land. The first phase of the project is slated to start spring of 2025 with various fields and courts, so the rodeo can't stay.
So we had to make a decision whether or not to try to continue it and then last minute, maybe with construction issues, cut it off. We just don't have the same space available any longer.
The biggest thing was just the communication side of it. Just reaching out to us and communicating and try to help us out too.
I asked Pike if city leaders told rodeo organizers their lease could be terminated this year. While a recap of the rodeo was on the agenda, he says he didn't know lease termination would be.
I feel like we've had numerous meetings prior to this year's rodeo, and we had daily conversations with them during the rodeo, and we had a follow-up meeting with them post-rodeo. There's no way we could tell somebody something when we don't know what the city council is going to decide.
Eagle Rodeo Director Mike Gallegos knew they couldn't stay here forever, but the end came sooner than they expected.
We start looking for other places because we knew if we did make it to the 5-year lease, we'd have to go somewhere.
Pushed out for a 4th time due to development in a rapidly growing area. The rodeo now has to find another new home.
It's hard to find a flat area in this immediate part of the valley here where we're trying to stay that isn't being developed.
But wherever they find next, they're determined to stay for good.
The rodeo is going to happen. I'm being a major optimistic on that, but we don't see the rodeo not happening.
If they find a location within the city limits, we are ready to have a discussion on that and see what we can do with setting up a successful lease agreement again.
City Council had until October 21st to notify Gallegos they were terminating the rodeo's lease. Mayor Pike says city leaders ultimately wanted to give the rodeo as much time as possible to find a new home. Once they receive formal notice of the lease termination, the rodeo will have 210 days to move off the property. Brian.
Okay, so Aspen, you heard Gallegos say it, that they don't know, or it's hard to find a place, the flat land where you could put an arena up and have a rodeo with all the growth going on. Do they have any leads on this?
They do have 2 leads, nothing that they can share with us at this time, but hope to be moved in by the end of August, somewhere new.
Is there a chance it will not be in the city of Eagle?
That's not their priority. They want to stay in Eagle, so that's not where they're looking.
Okay, thank you very much, Aspen.